Hi guys, hope you're doing good. In this video, we're going to learn about arrays in Go programming language. People from C or C++ background, you would be already familiar with arrays because you would be extensively using arrays in C and C++. But people from Python, this is something new for you because you would have not used arrays directly in Python. But anyway, you can import the arrays modules and you can use arrays in Python as well. So let me go ahead and give you some example to make you understand arrays in Go programming language. Before that, let me take some important things that is required for any Go programming language, that is your package main, import fmt, and your function main. Let me create an array. Let the name be IARR and 5 and int. Now here you can see the size of the IARR array is 5 and the type of it is integer. That's how I give. Let me say fmt. Let me print and show you what is there inside an empty array. Right now, as of now, this is an empty array I have created here and it's an empty array. Let me run this code for you. Let me say go run and the file name. So when I run this code, you can see you will be getting all zeros because by default any array stores 0, right? So when I say int array of 5, right, it's a 5 size integer, so you will be getting 5 zeros, right? So let me tell you what will be the default value for different data types. So let me take float here. Let me change the array name as FARR and let me take string. I'll change it as SARR. And finally, let me take bool. I'll change it as BARR. Let me save this and run this code for you. Now you'll be seeing that for integer it is all zeros. For float also you have all zeros. For string you get empty strings, right? You get empty 5 strings. I'll show you, don't worry. And for bool it is all false. By the default value of boolean is false, the default value of integer and float is 0, and the default value of string is empty string, right? So if I want to see whether there is an empty string or not, I'll be using a format specifier called as %q to mention the coded string, right? So here you will be getting the string in quotes so that you can clearly understand what is there. So let me save this and run it for you again. So you can see all zeros for float and integer, and for string you can see that empty strings, right? Double quotes, starting and closing the double quotes, inside nothing, not even space. So it's an empty string, right? So the default value of string is empty string. The default value of numbers is 0, right? Now let us see how to store values into an array. So to store values, we'll be using, right, indexing, right? We can use the indexing process to store the value. I'll say IARR and then I'll be using the index 0 to store some value. Let me say 1. I'll say IARR and then say index 1. Let it be 2, and that will be stored with 3. So let us print and see before and after initializing the values. Now I've created an array, right? An empty array is created, and then I've initialized first 3 values of the empty array, right, with the help of indexing. So this is called as indexing. What we here use called as indexing, right? Let me save this and run it for you. You can see the initial empty array is 0, and after initializing the first 3 values, you can see 1, 2, 3 for the first 3 values and 0 for the other spaces. You with me, guys? Okay, fine. So let me tell you how to create an empty array with another process, right? So this is one way of creating an empty array. Another way of creating empty array, that is what I'm going to tell you now. Let me comment this out. I'll say IARR :assign, then followed by the size of the array int and followed by the braces. Now this is also one type of creating an array, right? So we have created an array here with the help of var keyword, and here we are using the short assignment operator, right? So this also creates an empty array. So let me save this and run this code for you. So you can see an empty array is created and then initialized partially. So I'll tell you how to create an array and initialize the values directly while creating the array itself. Okay, so let me comment this for you. I'll say IARR colon assign. So here I'll say I'll not mention the values, right? So let me say 3 dots. So it means that the size will be decided based on the value that I'm going to give you, right? Now here before, what happened here, you can see that it creates 5 blocks of memory, right? And then when I initialize first 3 values, the other things are 0. But here when I say 3 dots, it is going to create based on the value that I'm going to initialize, right? So it's going to do that. 1 minute, let me clear this for you. So here what I'm doing, I'm just giving 3 dots and then I'm saying int after that, like I'm saying 1, 2, 3. So it means that I'm going to create 3 values. So how many blocks of memory will be allocated? Only 3 blocks of memory will be. If I'm say 4, 4 blocks of memory will be allocated. I'll say 5, 5 blocks of memory will be allocated. So based on the initialized values, right, my array size will be decided during runtime. Let me save this and run it for you. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? There is no extra spaces, no zeros, nothing. So when I want to say that I want to initialize some X amount of value or N amount of value, and I can go with this, right? I don't have to give the size of it, right? But I have to initialize the values then and there immediately. Okay, let me clear this out for you. Let me tell you how to get input for my array during the runtime. I'll say var arr, say 5, say int. So let me create one more variable called as n, that I'm going to get the limit for my or the size of my array that can be within 5, right? So let me say fmt dot scan. I'll say ampersand n, that I'm going to get input for that, and let me use a for loop to get input. I'll start from 0 because my index of array starts at 0, I less than n, and I'll say I plus plus. Say fmt dot scan of arr of I. So I'm going to get input for every index, right? So I'm going to get input for, that is for 0th index, I'm going to get some input. For first index, I'm going to get some input. For second index, I'm going to get some input, right? And then let me try to print the values finally. I'll say fmt dot println arr. Right. Okay, let me save this and run the code for you. So first is asking for n. So let me say 4. I'll say 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see I'm getting some 4 inputs. Since it's a array size is 5, it is giving 0 at the last. So all these 4 inputs that I got during the runtime. So you can get the input during the runtime with the help of scanf, and then inside that I'll be creating an array of I, that is I'm getting input for every index using the help of scan statement. Okay, we have seen indexing. Now let me tell you how to use slicing. Slicing in the sense I'm going to get some partial output, right? So people from Python background, you would be familiar with slicing, but people from C or C++, I want you to listen to it, right? Now I have some values, that is 4 values that is given inside my array, and if I want to get some partial output of it, so let me say 10 here. Let me save this and run the code for you. Let me say 10 itself and get some input, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. So I got some 10 inputs. My 10 inputs are there inside my array now, right? If I want to print only the partial value, that is the partial value from starting from 3 to 6 or 3, 4, 5, 6, only 4 values, right? Or only 5 values or some part of value, I'll be going for slicing, right? So slicing takes 2 parts. Let me tell you what are those. I'll be giving the array name of it, and then I'll say start colon end, right? Start colon end, where I'm going to start, where I'm going to end before. I'm going to see if I give 3 here, I'll be ending before 3. The last value end, the value that is not included. For example, if I say ARR of 1 colon 3. It means that 1 and 2, right? The indexes 1 and 2 will be printed. And if I say 1 to 5, the indexes 1, 2, 3, 4 will be printed. Okay. So let me give an example for that. I'll say fmt dot println. I'll say arr. Now let me say the same example 1 to 5. So it means that from 1 it will start printing the value, the first index value, that is not the 0th, it will leave out the 0th index value, first index, second index, third index and fourth index. It means that I'm going to stop before 5. Okay, so let me run this code for you so that you can understand clearly. I'll say, let me say 8. I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So when I say 1 to 5, that is index 1, index 2, index 2, sorry, index 1, index 2, index 3 and index 4. Right. You can see the 4 values, right, from index 1 to index 4. Right. The fifth index will not be considered because I'll stop before the fifth index. Okay, I'm going to stop before the fifth index. Let me take this out and let me give an example for how to store the array inside a pointer. Okay, let me take this out for some time. To store the array inside a pointer, I have to create a pointer, right? So to create a pointer, I'll be creating a pointer of the same type. So let me say ptr and start. What is the type of arr? I need to get the same type, right? So I need to get the same type pointer. Okay, so here let me say ptr assign arr. Now here I am storing the address of arr inside the pointer variable ptr. And you can see that pointer is getting created here of same type, right? So this is very important. I need to have pointer of same type. So when I want to print this, I'll say fmt dot println. I'll say star ptr to access all the values and print it. Clear this code for you. Let me run it again for you. Let me take 5 values. You can see the values are getting printed, right? Values are getting printed with the help of pointer, right? So can I change the value with the help of pointer? Yes, that is also possible, right? I'll say ptr of 3. I can use indexes for pointer to change the value. Let me change the value of the third position to 33. Okay, let me change it for 5 for some time. Let me save it. Let me run it again for you. I'll say 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You can see that the value at the index 3 is getting changed to 33, right? This is how I use pointers to change the value, right? There is another way to create a pointer. It is not required for me to declare a pointer variable and then use it. I can directly use it. How will I directly use it? That is what I'm going to tell you, right? I'll say ptr, right? And here I'll say colon assign and put a var before. Now here I'm creating a pointer variable. Now when I store the address, the compiler will understand that ptr is of type pointer. Okay, so let me save this and run it for you again. Sorry. I'll run it for you. I'll say 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? That's how I do it. So another way of doing it is I don't even have to use var. I'll say ptr colon assign ampersand arr. Now it will understand that ptr is of type pointer the same way, right? So let me clear the screen for you and run it again. I'll say 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You can see the value is getting changed here, right? So the pointer can be created with I've just given you 3 types. One, I create a pointer separately and then initialize it like this. How will I do it? I'll say ampersand arr, right? So when I create a pointer separately, then I have to initialize it whenever it is required, or I can just directly initialize the value with the help of keyword var. I'll be creating a pointer ptr and then assign ampersand arr. When I say I'm going to assign the address to it, then the type of ptr will be automatically converted to of type pointer, right? Or else I can just use a short assignment operator and then directly assign arr, so that the ptr is getting created and then the address will be stored, then the ptr type will become pointer. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. If you have any doubts or queries in this video, please comment in the comment section, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.